Hello, good morning. My name is Tobias Landström, and I'm your English teacher. So, welcome to English 6. And today we're going to have the introduction class, and I'm going to present to you Model 1. First, I would just like to say that I am from Sweden, soy sueco, and I am a psychologist. But now I'm working here at Manuela Beltran as an English teacher, and it's an honor to be your teacher for this course. But I know you students are busy, so let's get right to the topic. I'm going to share my screen so that you will see what I see. And since you're in level 6, you probably know this from before. Let's see here. I'll share my screen here. Like that. Okay. So here is today's class. English 6, and today is September 26th. So the objectives for today, I'm going to show you the learning objectives for the course. I will also show you important dates and deadlines. I will give you instructions for the first module, and then we will practice the content for the first activity. So starting with the schedule, here you see, I'll first talk about the learning objectives, then we'll take a look at the schedule, we'll talk a little by the glossaries, and then I will introduce the first activity that starts today. And after that, I will give you the resources to solve your task, which will be today's class. So, learning objectives, what you will learn during this course. You are going to learn a lot of things. Starting today, we're going to talk about the past. And we're going to talk about 3 different ways to talk about the past. Past continuous, past perfect, and past simple. After that, we got about 7 weeks of lots of different stuff. We're going to talk about past tense responses, phrasal verbs, present perfect continuous, word speech, simple passive. There are a lot of things that you are going to learn during this course. But first, let's talk about the schedule. If you hold on a second, I will switch to the schedule. Okay, so I'll go here, look up the right course to English 6. Here we'll find the schedule for the course, which you see here. So today is September 26th, where we have the video class. And today starts the first activity, which will finish in 1 week, October 3rd. And this will be the rhythm for all the activities during this course. They start on Wednesdays. For example, the next activity, information sheet, programming tools, starts October 3rd and it ends October 10th. This course is 8 weeks and it ends on November 18th. And the activities will be on Wednesdays, and then we will have the quizzes on Mondays. Okay, so you can go here and take a look at the schedule, and if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to write. If we go back here, we go to the next slide, we have the glossaries. And since you are in level 6, you probably know all about how this works. But a short reminder, I'll show you this screen in Spanish, and you can pause here and you can read it through. Um, as you know, it's Mondays that we have the glossaries, and it's 10 words every time. So remember to refresh those instructions. And I'm looking forward to see your responses. Moving on, so 3, the first activity, the activity that starts today and it will end in 1 week. It's called Programming Tools History, and you will use different grammar structures of the past. You will learn about past continuous and past simple in the PDF module. Remember, this is very important that you study the material in the PDF model to be able to do this task. There in the instructions, you will find a website where you will read about programming tools. There I want you to choose 5 programming tools, and I want you to complete the table that's provided in the activity by answering the questions provided. This is the table. Here you can see there are 4 questions. What was the name of the tool? Who created the tool? And so forth. Here I want you to answer these questions. And as you can see, there's an example of the questions provided. Now, complete the table with 5 programming tools. And remember, I want you to use 5 sentences in past simple and 5 sentences in past continuous. And this is for next Wednesday. So, to be able to solve this activity, we will talk about past continuous, past perfect, and past simple. Now, for this activity, you won't have to use past perfect, but I'm going to introduce it to you. Let's get right to it. So, 3 ways to talk about the past. It's very important when you study English to be able to talk about the past. It's so you can be able to talk about your previous experience, you can talk about what has happened, you can talk about your routines. When you know how to talk about the past, it will help you a lot with appreciating English. So, in English, there are 3 ways to talk about the past. We got past simple, past perfect, and past continuous. Past simple corresponds to the Spanish jugué. Past perfect, había jugado, and the past continuous, estaba jugando. Okay. And today we're going to start with past simple. Jugué, comí, hablé, for example. So, simple past is used to describe a completed action that started and finished in the past, and is usually not specified by time. For example, my father played music in Cartagena last weekend, or we drank a few beers last night, or I often brought my guitar to school. All these 3 sentences are in simple past. And when you want to form a sentence in simple past, you need to choose the subject, you need to conjunct the verb to add ed, usually. I'm going to show you an example how it can work. Por ejemplo, mi padre tocó música en Cartagena el último fin de semana. Here we would need the subject, which would be my father. Then we would need the verb, which would be play. And then we would need to add ed to the verb play to get played. This would look like my father played music in Cartagena last weekend. Okay. Remember, some words are irregular. This is a difficult part of English, and you can only learn this by practicing. there are lots of lists of words, of irregular verbs that you can practice, because most of them are very different. For example, the previous examples that I showed you, we have the word drank, which is the past tense of the verb drink. Or brought, that's the past tense of the word bring. In these scenarios, we don't add ed because these words are irregular. So if we look at this chart, we can see that, for example, play and walk, they're conjuncted with ed, but drink and bring are not. When? Moving forward. Past perfect. That's a second way of talking about the past. Había jugado. Past perfect, it indicates that an action was finished at some point in the past, before something else happened. It is used to make it clear that one event happened before another in the past. Now, maybe you think this sounds a bit confusing. Maybe you don't understand. I will try to explain it for you. So, one event happened before another. What do I mean by that? Let's look at this example. I had left the house when the bomb exploded. I had left the house when the bomb exploded. I had left the house. That is one event. And when the bomb exploded, that's another event. But I had left the house. That's the first event. The bomb exploded. That's the second event. And eso es muy importante, because I had left the house before the bomb exploded, which means that I survived. Let's look at this graphic. I had left the house when the bomb exploded. The first event happened before the second one. I had left the house when the bomb exploded. Both of these actions took place in the past. So to form sentences in past perfect, you need a subject, you need had, the auxiliary verb, and then you need the verb in the participle, the participle tense of the verb. Let's look at this example. Yo había dejado la casa cuando la bomba explotó. Had left the house when the bomb exploded. Here we need the subject, which would be I. Then we add the auxiliary verb, that is had, I had. And then we conjunct the verb leave into the participle form, which would be left. So I had left the house when the bomb exploded. And remember, when we use past perfect, we always use had. We never use had. In this tense, we always said, we had left the house, they had left the house, and so forth. And we take a look at this chart, and you will see the past participle. Let's say that's the third form of conjuncting these verbs. So in infinite form, we have leave, the simple past, and left, and the participle, I have left the house. When? I know we're moving fast now, but I want to introduce this to you, and then you can deeper your understanding in the PDF model. Remember, if you have any questions, you can just contact me. So moving on with the past continuous, or estaba jugando. Past continuous is used to talk about the past, about something that continued before and after another action. This is very useful. Por ejemplo, Yo estaba mirando TV cuando el teléfono sonó. Cuando el teléfono sonó, yo estaba mirando TV. I was watching television when the telephone rang. So, what do I mean by this? It was an action that continued before and after another action. So we had two actions, watching TV and the telephone was ringing. Take a look at this. Here's the action when I'm watching TV. It's progressing in the past. But suddenly, the telephone rings in the middle of me watching TV. So while I was watching television, the telephone rang. To form these sentences, you need a subject, you need was or were, depending on the pronoun, and then you need the base form of the verb with ing at the end, playing, singing, writing. Let's take an example. Yo estaba mirando TV cuando el teléfono sonó. I plus was, because it's me, singular person, and then watch, which is the base verb, plus in. I was watching television when the telephone rang. And once again, we have the chart. And here in the fourth column, you can see the present participle. Leaving, drinking, playing, walking. It's an ongoing activity. We were drinking. I was playing. You were walking. They were leaving. So, going back to your assignment, you remember the table I showed you in the beginning of the presentation? Here you can see the example provided by us teachers. In here, for example, we have used simple past to say the tool was created by Bill Kincaid, or this tool was created in 2001. But then we have used the past continuous when we say that the tool was aiming function. And you see the difference? Here, these regular verbs in the simple past, they end with ed. But in the past continuous, the verb ends with ing. So a short summary, my friends. There are three ways to talk about the past. Past simple, past perfect, and past continuous. Past simple corresponds to jugué, hablé. Past perfect, había jugado. And past continuous to estaba jugando, the ongoing activity. In past simple, you need a subject, the verb, and ed. For example, my father played music in Cartagena last week. In past perfect, you need the subject plus had plus the verb in the participle form, which would be I had left the house when the bomb exploded. And in the past continuous, you have the subject plus was and were, and then the base verb, and you end it with ing. There you get, I was watching television when the telephone rang. So remember the activity for next Wednesday. You learn about past continuous and past simple in the PDF. You go to the website in the instructions. You choose 5 programming tools, and then you complete the table by answering the questions provided. That was it for today, students. Thank you very much for watching this video. Here's my contact information, Tobias Landström. You're more than welcome to call me at the office Mondays to Fridays between 9 and 6, and then Saturdays 8 to 12. And if you have any questions, you can also write me through the platform of Virtual Nets. And I'll be happy to reply any kind of questions that you might have. So I wish you a good start of this course, and I wish you all the luck in your studies, and I hope that I can be a great support for you during these 8 weeks. Okay, have a great day.